Hi, everyone. Welcome to English Simple Podcast. I'm Alex. Today, we're going to talk about something very important, how to be polite in English without sounding weak. This is a big problem for many English learners. Some learners sound too direct. They sound rude even when they don't want to be rude. Other learners sound very polite, but they sound scared. They sound weak. And this creates a problem in your mind. You think, if I'm too polite, people won't respect me. But if I speak strongly, people will think I'm rude. So what do? Many learners choose silence. They say nothing. They stop speaking. But silence is not the answer. Today, I will show you how to be polite and confident at the same time. You don't have to choose one or the other. You can have both. Many learners think being polite means being soft. They think it means saying sorry all the time. For example, they say, "Sorry, can I maybe ask you something if that's okay?" This sounds polite, but it also sounds unsure. You sound afraid. You sound like you don't have the right to speak. In English-speaking cultures, this can be a problem, because politeness in English is not about being small. It's about respect. Respect for the other person and respect for yourself. This is very important. Let me tell you something honest. Native English speakers don't respect people who are rude. I think this is true in any culture. But they also don't respect people who have no boundaries. What is a boundary? A boundary is a clear line. It means what you accept and what you don't accept. You can be polite and still have boundaries. You can say please and still sound strong. You can say thank you and still sound confident. The problem is not politeness. The problem is how you show it. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are at work. Someone interrupts you again and again. You want to stop this. You have two choices. First choice, stop interrupting me. This is strong, but it sounds aggressive. It's not polite. Second choice, could you please let me finish my point? This sentence is polite, but it's also clear. You are not saying sorry for existing. You are not attacking the other person. You are simply saying what you need. This is polite confidence. Now, many learners think confidence comes from grammar or big vocabulary, but confidence comes from clarity. Clarity means being clear and easy to understand. When your message is clear, you sound confident, even if your English is not perfect. You don't need big words. You don't need perfect grammar. You need calm, clear structure. Let me explain something important about English. In English, politeness often comes from softening the verb, not the message. Your message can be strong, but the verb can be gentle. For example, I want this report now. This is a strong message with a hard verb. Now compare it with, could you please send me the report today? The message is almost the same, but the feeling is different. You are still asking for action. You are not weak. You are simply respectful. Now, many learners use the word sorry too much. They say, sorry to ask, sorry to bother you, sorry, sorry, sorry. This creates a problem, because sorry means you did something wrong. If you say sorry all the time, you sound like you are always wrong. Later, I will teach you when to stop apologizing and what to say instead. Okay, let me tell you another truth. Confidence is not about volume. It's not about speaking loudly. Confidence is about being calm. A calm voice sounds strong. A rushed voice sounds nervous. So when you speak politely, slow down, pause, breathe. This alone will change how people hear you. Now let's focus on one very practical skill: how to make polite requests that sound confident. You make requests every day, at work, with friends, in emails, in shops. And many English learners feel uncomfortable doing this. They think, if I ask directly, I sound rude. If I ask politely, I sound weak. So they overthink. They add too many words. They apologize too much, and the message becomes unclear. Let's fix that together. First, let me say this clearly. Making a request is not a problem. It's normal. It's human. You are not asking for a favor every time. Sometimes you are simply saying what you need. Okay, let's start with a basic sentence. Send me the file. This is clear, but it sounds too direct in many situations. Now look at this. Can you send me the file? This is already better. Can you is one of the most common polite forms in English. It's simple and natural. But we can improve it. Can you send me the file, please? Now this sounds polite, but still confident. You didn't say sorry. You didn't explain too much. This is polite clarity. Now let's go one step higher. Instead of can you, we can use could you. Could you send me the file, please? Could sounds a little softer than can. It sounds more professional, but it's not weak. Native speakers use this all the time, especially at work. Many learners think polite English means long English. That's not true. Often, short polite sentences sound stronger than long apologetic ones. Apologetic means saying sorry too much. Compare these two sentences. Sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if you maybe had time to possibly send me the file today. This is very long, and it sounds nervous. Now listen to this. Could you send me the file today, please? Clear, calm, and confident. Less words, more power. Now, let's talk about tone. Tone means how your voice sounds. You can say a polite sentence, but still sound weak. If your tone is unsure, if you speak too fast, or if your voice goes up too much at the end, you sound uncertain. Try to keep your voice steady. For example, could you help me with this? Voice steady, not going up. Now, let's look at a common mistake. Many learners put please in the wrong position. They say, please, can you help me? This is not wrong, but it sounds a bit emotional. A better option is, can you help me, please? Or, could you help me with this, please? This sounds more natural in modern English. Now, let's move to a higher level. Instead of can you or could you, we can use would you mind. For example, would you mind helping me with this? This is very polite, but still confident. Important note, after would you mind, we use the ing form. Would you mind helping me? Would you mind looking at this? Would you mind opening the window? This structure sounds professional and calm. Let me show you something important. You can sound more confident by adding time or details to your request. For example, could you send me the file? This is good. Now try, could you send me the file by this afternoon? This sounds more confident. You are clear about what you want. You are not demanding. Demanding means asking in a rude, strong way. You are organized. Now, let's practice with another example. Imagine you are in a meeting. You need someone to repeat something. You can say, sorry, what? This sounds rude. You can say, sorry, I didn't understand. Sorry. This sounds too nervous. A better option is, sorry, could you repeat that, please? Even better, could you repeat that, please? No apology needed. You did nothing wrong. You simply need information. Now we're going to talk about something even harder, how to say no politely without feeling guilty. Guilty means feeling bad, like you did something wrong. This is one of the most important skills in English. Many people are afraid to say no, not only in English, in any language. But in English, this fear becomes stronger. Why? Because learners think, if I say no, I will sound rude. If I say no, people won't like me. So they say yes, even when they don't want to, even when they are tired or busy. And slowly they feel stressed and angry. But saying no does not make you a bad person, and saying no politely does not make you rude. Let's start with a simple example. Someone asks you, "Can you help me with this?" You don't have time. Many learners panic. They say, I'm sorry, I can't, sorry. This sounds emotional. It sounds like you did something wrong. But you didn't. You simply cannot help. So let's change the structure. Listen carefully. I'm afraid I can't help with this. This sentence is polite, calm, and clear. The phrase, I'm afraid, doesn't mean fear. It's a polite expression. You are not apologizing. You are informing in a polite way. Now, let's talk about saying no to invitations. Someone says, "Do you want to come to dinner tonight?" You don't want to go. You can say no with close friends, but in many situations, we soften it. Try this. "Oh, thanks for the invitation, but I'll have to pass tonight." "I'll have to pass" means I say no politely. Very natural. Or, "Thank you, but I already have plans." This is polite and confident. Here's a useful structure. Thank you plus no plus optional reason. For example, "Thank you for asking, but I won't be able to help today." "I appreciate the offer, but I'll have to decline." Decline means to say no politely. It's more formal. Now we arrive at one of the hardest skills, how to disagree politely. For many learners, disagreement feels dangerous. You think, if I disagree, people will get angry. But this is not true. There are two extremes. Two extremes means two opposite ends. On one side, we have aggressive disagreement. "That's wrong. I don't agree at all. You are mistaken." These sentences may be honest, but they feel hard and rude. On the other side, we have passive agreement. Passive means weak, not active. "Yeah, maybe. I guess so. You're probably right." But these sentences hide your real opinion. They make you invisible. What we want is the middle, polite, confident disagreement. The first secret is this. In English, we usually soften disagreement by starting with agreement. This doesn't mean fake agreement. It means showing respect before sharing a different view. For example, "I see your point, but I think there's another way to look at it." This sentence is powerful. "I see your point" shows respect, but introduces your opinion. You are not attacking, you are joining the conversation. Another example, someone says, "This is the best solution." You disagree. You can say, "I understand why you think that. However, I see it a bit differently." However is a polite alternative to but. It sounds more formal and calm. Let me give you one more example for meetings. "That's an interesting point. Let me think about that for a moment." Or, "I see what you mean. I'm just not convinced it will work in the long term." Long term means over a long period of time. These phrases buy you time. They also show respect. Then you add your view. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Remember these key points. 1. Politeness is not weakness. It's about respect for others and yourself. 2. Use polite verbs like could you and would you mind to make requests. 3. Don't say sorry all the time. Only say sorry when you really did something wrong. 4. You can say no politely. Use phrases like "I'm afraid I can't" or "I'll have to pass." 5. You can disagree politely. Start with agreement, then share your view. Being polite and confident at the same time is possible. It just takes practice. Thank you so much for listening to English Simple Podcast today. I'm Alex, and I hope these ideas help you speak English with more confidence. Keep learning, keep practicing, and remember, you can do this. See you next time. Goodbye.